Hello, everybody. Everybody. I'd like to start this video just by showing you my old studio. So that's what you're looking at now, or hopefully now. And this studio is pretty remarkable, 12 by 12 feet, which is spacious. Yes, even by South Philly row home standards, that's pretty large. A lot of room to do stuff in here, rodeos, that sort of thing. But that's the problem. See, I'm only 5 foot tall, and it's a little too spacious. See, I like to have everything within easy grasp. All right, I've got my FL Key 37. I keep it right under the desk, right here. See, I can reach out and grab that, do a little composing. Right over here. You can see this, that's where the modular stuff lives, and that's there. Down here, keyboards and sequencer, headphones up there. Under here, I don't know if you can, let me roll this back a little bit, maybe you can see a little better. Yeah, under Anton's coffin, which is on a trestle table. That's where I keep stuff like my I/O devices, everything I need when I do these little videos. Microphones are under there, that sort of thing. I use it also when I do my radio show. So that is all within easy reach. That's fantastic. Now I want to show you something. Well, I can't show you. I can show you this way. All right, if I want to use the DX11, the DX11 is approximately, yeah, it's like 2 feet away at least. I can't reach it from here. And my guitar is a good 3 feet. Laptop like 3.5 feet. I've got the Minilog XD. See, you can't even keep this thing working. Minilog XD is way over there. I mean, that's got to be maybe 5.5 feet away, and I got to get up out of the desk, and then I've got to go get that. You see the right back here. You see this? That is a Novation FL Key 49. Yeah, get up and get that. Forget about it. Not going to happen. All right, so that's the point. The point is that everything is too far away from me. I wish everything was more conveniently located, and that's what I've been thinking about for days and days now. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day, and I was explaining how the studio is a massive 12 by 12 feet, and it's just hard to reach some stuff. And my friend was like, why don't you just move inside of a shoebox? I was like, oh my God, that is genius. That is, a shoebox would be perfect. But there's a drawback to that. And that is that in order to get a shoebox, you've got to buy a new pair of shoes. And that is beyond my budget. My studio budget to build the new studio was $20. I figured I could do the whole thing for $20. So I was kind of heartbroken at first. I was like, I'm not going to be able to get the shoebox because you got to get the shoes. It's just going to put me so far over budget. But then I was looking on eBay, and I saw an ad for a box of Puffs Ultra Softs, and those box of Puffs was going for $17.99. And I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. This is great because I'm under $20 and I have some money left over for maybe decoration or soundproofing, that sort of thing. So I placed a bid, and lo and behold, I was the winning bid. I won it for $17.99. That was great. But what I didn't know was that it was $75 shipping and handling. So now I'm a wee bit over budget. But once you're over budget, you've committed to the project. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's go in here. Let's get this thing cleaned out. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever tried to remove all of the tissues from a tissue box, but it is exhausting. I gave it a crack on my own, and I just got worn out. There was no way I was going to be able to do this. So I hired a crew, and they came in, and they removed all the tissues, and they did the whole thing. And really, really good crew of guys. They did the whole thing for $750. So I was like, okay, had to be done. $750. Again, I'm a little bit over budget. Going to happen. And I thought, well, that's, got to make room in there for the concrete floor. See, if you're building a studio, you need a good, solid concrete floor. Someone's got to pour the concrete. Fortunately, I live in South Philly where there's a lot of guys that work with concrete. So I looked up and I found a service. It was Big Tony's Professional Concrete, and I gave them a call.
Yeah, hello. Is this Big Tony's Professional Concrete? I'd like to speak to Big Tony, please. Yeah, I'll wait. Hello, is this Big Tony? Yeah, hi, listen, I need someone to come over to my house, preferably today, and to pour a concrete floor into an empty tissue box. You think you could take care of that? Well, okay. That's a thought. Yeah, I'm sorry you feel that way, Big Tony, but I'll tell you what, I also live in South Philadelphia, so how about if I give you my name and address, and you can come over to my house, and you can say that to my face. Or, if you'd like, we could meet somewhere more public. Let's say your mother's...
Okay, since that didn't work out, I went back to the original crew of guys who had removed all the tissues, and they said that they would do a concrete floor for another $750. Again, I'd worked with them before. They're good guys. They do good work. So I'm like, okay, pour that concrete floor in that Puffs box. Go for it. And they did. They did a really, really neat job of that. Okay, so now I'm way over budget, counting the $16,000 hospital bill from mouthing off to Big Tony. But again, it's there. Concrete floor is poured. All right, so I brought in some folks to do electrical work and also run the internet, all the internet connections. Going to need those if you got a studio. Can't have like an Amish studio where it's powered by a butter churn or something. So that work cost me about $12,000. Yeah, so not ideal. Well over the $20 budget at this point. But, you know, I've got the electrical, and I've got all the Ethernet and all that wonderful stuff. The tubes of the internet. So I knew things are going much better. Now, to get it acoustically perfect, I'm lucky that this space, because I have 2 bookshelves filled with books, does a great job of recording sound. It's just kind of acoustically nice. And I wanted that. I hired an acoustic consultant. You know, guy's a bit of a dirty bird, but, you know, you can't, if I'm going to spend, I would be spending much more than I did if I hired like a normal human being. So I just hired a dirty bird. And the guy comes in and he gives me advice, and I wound up, that cost me $7,000 just to have him come in and figure out, you know, the acoustic treatments. He's got like a triangle he plays and hits like a tambourine. And then he's like, you got to do this and that. So what he figured out was that the studio would sound a lot better if we put the Puffs back in. All the tissues had to go back in. So I went back to the crew I hired, and surprisingly, they said they would do it for $750. So all of the tissues went back in, and that was it. That was all the work that needed to be done. So the final cost was $37,342.99, which is not good. I was $37,322.99 over budget, which I had not expected. But if you would like a quick tour of the studio, here we go. Yeah, and it's really nice. Now I know some of you are saying, wait a minute, Rodney, Ben Jordan built a studio in a barn, and he gave us a full tour of it. Well, if you love Ben Jordan so much, go watch his channel. But the thing is, just want to remind everybody, or anybody, as if anyone cares, I have a solo EP coming out on the 1st of October, and it's free. But if you could go in and just maybe download your free copies. If enough people do that, I'm hoping that some of them will say, hey, this looks pretty popular, and then they'll want to rent the Tissue Box Studio, because otherwise I'm screwed.